Have you ever felt?
Are you listening?
Hey guys, let's talk about the 5 problems with being a taker in life. Now, when I say taker, I'm talking about someone who's just always being served, always being helped. It's kind of like you're the kid. Everyone around you is helping you, whether you know it or not. You're sort of the consumer, you're sort of a spectator. So for example, my kids are takers when they're 5 years old because they kind of have to be. I have to serve them, I have to feed them. You know, when they were even younger, we had to change their diapers. That's a taker. But hopefully as they grow, as they get older, they learn to become givers, and eventually they'll be parents who are also givers. But if you're a taker, you're a consumer, and you can be a consumer and be 20, 30, 40, 50, 80 years old. You can still be a taker. A lot of people never grow out of being a taker. Life is all about you. You're selfish, you're self-absorbed, and you are making everyone wait on you. And so here are 5 problems with that kind of living, that kind of mentality, that kind of lifestyle. Problem number 1, you're always the victim. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but the older you get, if you don't grow out of being a taker, where everyone's serving you and giving to you, you end up becoming a victim because you feel self-entitled, and now you're saying, hey, you know, I didn't get this, or I didn't get that, or whatever, and you become a victim. Being a taker leads to a victim mentality. Number 2, you're self-deceived. See, here's what happens to takers. Takers begin to have their own version of reality because they're so self-focused that they end up becoming self-deceived. You know, people may try to speak something into your life and try to sort of get you to realize that you're being a consumer, or you're being a victim, or you're being a jerk, or whatever, and you don't care because your version of reality pretty soon becomes the truth in your mind. But in reality, your version of reality is just a lie. You don't really even want to ask yourself any questions because you're afraid of the answer. And so other people challenge you and try to call you out, and you won't have it because you're so self-deceived that you reject the truth no matter who it comes from, whether from yourself or somebody else. Number 3, you become toxic. And toxic means you become poisonous. In fact, a lot of times for takers, they're gonna look around if you're a taker long enough and you realize you become alone and miserable in this life because nobody wants to hang out with a taker in the long run. I mean, nobody likes a taker. It gets old after a while. This toxic material that you've become now starts to either infect your environment or repel people so they don't even want to be around you anymore. Number 4, and this is kind of a corollary of number 3, is you'll never make an impact. Because really, the people that can make an impact are the givers. Takers never make an impact. Takers are always looking for other people to make an impact on them. Givers flip it around. Leaders flip it around and they say, how can I help? How can I make this team better? How can I make this work environment better? How can I make this family better or this marriage better? And so the givers are the ones who make an impact, and the takers will never make an impact or leave a legacy. And here's the 5th problem with being a taker in this life, and it's that you'll never grow, you'll never mature, you'll never grow up. You know, that kid when you were 2 and you were a taker, that was fine and normal. But if you're 22 and still a taker, now you got a problem because it's pretty obvious that you're not mature. It's pretty obvious that you haven't outgrown that phase of your life. The longer you remain a taker, then just the further and further out you're pushing your true maturity and your true growth. You'll never grow as a person, you'll never grow as a player, as an employee, as an employer. You'll never grow. You'll never advance, you'll never mature, you'll never move forward. And so don't be a taker. Now go ahead and use the resources below. Hopefully, if this describes you in any way at all, you'll be honest with yourself and you'll take some steps to get beyond that taker-victim mentality.